opportunity to the simulation went, from our perspective, from the operation and event side, it went well. I'm very pleased with what they've done, and we certainly look forward to go back to have a debriefing and determine what do we do next.
Commonwealth Business Forum's coordinator, Celia Roberts Morgan, says since Antigua and Barbuda is the first to host the side events at a cricket grounds, this has created logistical differences from a standard conference room.
We're not all in one space, in one room, or one building, and most of what we're utilizing is pavilions or tents. And so we have to take that into consideration. And a big factor is the heat.
They are now awaiting an assessment from the security forces to determine what areas in particular need fine-tuning. Philana Johnson, ABS News.
Thank you so much, Philana. Meanwhile, organizers of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meetings, various forums, are being encouraged to conduct an exercise similar to Monday's exercise resilience. Well, that encouragement comes from Chair for the committee planning the Commonwealth Business Forum, Rosona Davis Crump, based on the level of success achieved with exercise resilience.
And we have quite a lot ahead of us in preparing for November. So it's absolutely important for all the other forums. There's a People's Forum, the Women's Forum, the Youth Forum. They also will need to have an opportunity to go through this. I hope they have a chance so that they can see as well for their venue what needs to be done, how they need to organize their participants, their delegates.
In other news now, the National Bureau of Statistics is now aiming to complete the delayed 2025 population and housing census by the end of this year. The exercise began September last year, but has faced delays because of limited public cooperation and a shortage of enumerators. Director of the National Bureau of Statistics, Stachel Edwards, revealed the year-end target on ABS Presents last night, but says meeting that target will depend heavily on the public's cooperation. Take a listen.
So we look to finish based upon the cooperation. It's dependent, not based upon. Dependent on the cooperation of the public. We are scheduled to finish before the end of the year, but it's dependent on the cooperation of the public.
Well, the Census Office is also expanding its field work or its field operations this week. Teams will continue work in Grace Farm, while enumerators are also being deployed to Lightfoot, Sugar Factory, Painters, and Herbert's. Officials say the intensified field work will continue through August, with additional communities to be announced as the exercise progresses. Stay with us right here on ABS as we continue to keep you across all the developments regarding the ongoing census.
Well, let's switch gears now. Forecasters continue to keep an eye on two areas of disturbed weather in the Atlantic. Well, shower and thunderstorm activity is currently limited in association with the area of low pressure. It's located about 500 miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. According to the National Hurricane Center, environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive for development during the next few days. And the tropical depression will likely form during the latter half of this week, while the system moves westward to west-northwestward across the central tropical Atlantic. Well, at 11 a.m. Tuesday, the formation chance through the next 48 hours was listed at 30%, while at 70% over the next 7 days. And I should mention that it was at the 2 o'clock update, it was pretty much the same. And we can tell you that Patrice Edwards, our meteorologist, she's going to be in a little while and definitely give us an update on what's happening, Garfield.
No doubt about it, indeed. We'll monitor that very closely, as only we can, because we are the nation's weather headquarters. Well, in other news now, students in Antigua and Barbuda have developed artificial intelligence tools, robotics models, and other technology projects as part of a government-backed STEM program aimed at exposing young people to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's the acronym STEM. Here's the latest now, because the projects were presented on Monday at an exhibition of the Ministry of Education's STEM-infused camp, which began on the 13th of July. As part of the program's artificial intelligence component, Stacey Payne-Maskell, Assistant Director of Education and Training and camp coordinator, says students worked with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to develop chatbots for live clients, as well as multimedia AI products.
We are seeing the various exhibits We have started with our AI program, as we partner with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, where we have live clients that we have done chatbots. We have developed a chatbot. We have also developed multimedia AI products, and we are very, very enthused as to what has been done.
Meanwhile, intermediate students developed robotics models focused on environmental and resource challenges, including ocean pollution, ocean health, and biodiversity. The program also addressed food security and water conservation through a partnership with the Aquafest program.
And of course, we have our juniors who would have 3 areas: the area of science, where they would have done a set of science hacks, and we also have technology, where they were exposed to microbits, scratch programming, and would have done some robotics assembly. We also have our applied engineering section, where the children would have done quite a bit in terms of models, creating models, wire bending, you name it. All was done here at the STEM-infused program for the Ministry of Education.
Well, the 5th edition of STEM Infused closed earlier today with a ceremony at the John E. St. Louis Finance and Conference Center. Falana Johnson has our story on the stellar work of the participants.
The highlight of the day for the children, a recap of the memories they made while at the 2026 Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics STEM-infused camp. The camp started July 6 and ended on Tuesday, targeting children aged 8 to 17. The students showed their enthusiasm, excited about attending next year's edition. Assistant Director of Education and Camp Coordinator Stacy Payne Maskell says over 200 students registered for the camp this year, with some students making early bookings.
In fact, there are 250 chairs in here this morning, and I would have printed 196 or so certificates for those who have consistently attended the camp. This does not include those who fell by the wayside, I'm going to talk about that, or would have had to leave because they're going on vacation with their parents.
The students are being encouraged to continue designing.
The amazing work you've done is proof that the future of science, tech, engineering, and math in Antigua and Barbuda is in very good hands. Stay connected. Through the STEM camp, though the STEM camp is closed, your innovation doesn't have to be.
The event ended with certificates and tokens of appreciation to the students and mentors, contributing to what has been regarded as another successful installment. Falana Johnson, ABS News.
Thank you so much, Falana. Meanwhile, an appeal has been made for the establishment of a STEM hub, or that should be a STEM hub for students. Well, we can tell you that the appeal came from Assistant Director of Education and Camp Coordinator Stacy Payne Maskell, who says the facility should include high-level equipment.
We can bust the children in the afternoon when they come up with ideas. They need a place where they can go and they can, do the different conceptualization of what they have in their mind.
She says every year after the STEM-infused camp, they do not have a set location to hold these inventions.
I have no way to put them. Can we then break down all this good work? These are prototypes that we need to build on.
All right, a great way to, of course, that story about innovation and the use of artificial intelligence and robotics, taking us out of the first segment of here of our newscast. Before we tell you what's coming up after the break, here's a reminder of what's coming up tomorrow morning on Antigua Barbuda Today, Wednesday, the 12th day of August, 2026, Anno Domini. A look at some of the guests you'll be hearing from tomorrow morning, an eclectic mix of subjects and topics, and of course, an eclectic mix of guests you don't want to miss. AB Today, starting at 6, ends at 9. Up next, more of the stories that we're close to tracking, including this one.
It's World Steel Pan Day, and there's so much we have to share with you and so much we have to tell you. And all of that is coming up right after the break. I mean, we love the steel pan, we are vibrant, and we literally do it well.
And of course, you'll hear about the mellifluous story. And a bit later on in sports with our Terry Andrew, West Indies officially, it has been official now, because they will have to go through next year's qualifiers if they are to book their spot in the Men's Cricket World Cup. We'll tell you about that story coming up in sports. Plus, this country's athletes returning from the World Under-20 Championships, just concluded in Eugene, Oregon. They have been praised for a creditable job. Those stories coming up. Stay with us, please.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
From Booster Seeds, I carry no cash. I tap and pay. I'm done in a flash.
Adventure is done. We grab a bite. I tap my card. It feels just right.
We booked our trip and paid with ease. Checked my rewards. Upgrade, yes please.
Paid it online while out with the crew. Tap for drinks. It's easy to do.
They tap, I drive. It's quick, it's clear. No counting cash or waiting here.
I use my card to keep things smooth. And my rewards? Wow, they really move.
ACB Visa Credit Card. My life, my card, my rewards. Get yours today. Terms and conditions apply.
From the richness of the Caribbean soil,
fresh, pure, naturally powerful.
from wholesome roots to irresistible crunch. Made for your kitchen, your business,
your lifestyle.
export quality, Caribbean grown.
Crispa, real Caribbean, real flavor. Available now.
And you're done. Oh my god, this looks so nice. You are a magician, girl. Tell me, how much I have for you again? $150. Okay. I only have $130. I went to the gas station this morning.
No worries, I have eCab Tap to Pay. I can use my Android phone or Android tablet to receive payments.
Okay, girl, let me look my card. I absolutely love the fact that you're with the times.
Thank you.
Yes, girl.
Call eCab at 480-6186 or email cardservices@ecabank.com to apply for a Tap to Pay feature.
Back to the ABS Evening News. More national developments now, because Antigua and Barbuda is joining the rest of the world in commemorating World Steel Pan Day.
Indeed, Nicola, it's a mellifluous story, if ever there was one, because in this, the third World Steel Pan Day, we're taking a look at the positive impacts of the steel pan and how you can help support the art form. Here's our Rakib Aparicio.
World Steel Pan Day celebrates the contributions of an art form steeped in Caribbean history. Here in Antigua and Barbuda, Steel Pan is the most subscribed program offered through the Department of Culture.
Panyards are bursting at the seam, for the most part. If you look at our national junior panorama or the national schools panorama that happens on an annual basis, we're up to 16 schools across 2 categories. Each school having between 35 and 50 pan players, because at the primary level, that's the maximum. The secondary level, 50 is the maximum. And there's some schools have to tell kids, hey, sorry, not this year, come back again next year.
Beyond the school programs, Steel bands introduce people to the art form year-round through their steel pan academies. For many players, the goal is simply to play for Panorama. But the Director of Culture, Can Cordes, says the opportunities for development extend far beyond that. Dr. Zara Lake, the country's first female arranger for Panorama and captain for Pandemonium, in her dissertation, looked at steel band education's impact on the African diaspora and its relationship to empowerment, cultural identity, and social justice. The culture director says he's seen the impact of steel pan firsthand.
We have quite a bit of people who travel the world from Antigua and Barbuda using the arts as their vehicle to do business, to just sharing experiences, to travel and just export their talents.
Educator and General Secretary of the Antigua and Barbuda Steel Pan Association, Samuel Roberts, says steel pan is a community.
You learn to show up, not just for yourself, but for the people. Because if I'm playing with you, you need to know your part. I need to know my part. We need to show up for each other.
As the steel bands work to hone the next generation of creatives, the public is being encouraged to show their support beyond Panorama.
We can get more support to put on different types of events, different standards and different caliber of events, not just Panorama or not just the Blockorama, but different types of concerts, different types of initiatives.
Rakib Aparisi reporting for ABS News.
Thank you so much, Rakib. DuBlue is once again lending its support to raise prostate cancer awareness in Antigua and Barbuda. Well, DuBlue donated $10,000 to the Antigua Lions Club as the club prepares for its annual prostate cancer screening event this Saturday.
And we encourage the men and the women. The women need to encourage the men, but we encourage the men to come on out and get tested, because this is something that it affects all of us. It's a very silent killer, but once we catch it early, we can save lives.
Well, registration begins at 7 a.m. on Saturday and is only $35. Pre-registration is also available this Thursday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
We are indeed quite happy for this contribution, as it will go a long way in assisting us in serving the men of our community. As you know, we've been doing this for almost 20 years, and we're happy that the men do come out and participate in this activity. So we're trying to, get them to come out. As you know, early detection saves lives.
Well, the Antigua Lions Club is aiming to screen 1,000 men ages 40 and over.
So of course, if you're a male viewer watching, you're in that age group, please be mindful of that. All right, that's their taking us out of a look at the national developments. Up next, the weather report and forecast. Joining us this evening is Patrice Edwards, and Patrice will have one eye on the Eastern Atlantic and one eye close to the home. Good evening to you, Patrice. What are you seeing?
Good evening, Patrice. Good evening, Garfield, and good evening, Nicola. Yes, we have a system in the Eastern Atlantic, us in the Eastern Caribbean. We have some fair conditions for now, but we must keep our eyes to the east for this system. We'll get more into this when we get back.
The weather report is brought to you by Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection.
When the skies are clear and the winds are calm, we often forget how unpredictable Mother Nature can be. But when a hurricane strikes, it's the strength of your home that matters most. Whether you are preparing for your first storm or looking to upgrade your current protection, Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection has got you covered. Our expert team handles everything from custom design to professional installation, ensuring your home is as strong as it is beautiful. Call today for a free consultation. Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection, built strong to weather any storm.
And a pleasant good evening and welcome back. So let's start off by looking at the tropical Atlantic with our latest tropical weather outlook. Now for the next 7 days, we will be looking at AL92, what will be designated as AL92. Right now is a disorganized area of thunderstorms and shower activity. However, we do expect this system to move into more favorable conditions, upper level conditions, and possible development could be seen. So we also see some with another area to the north. However, that is unlikely to give us any showers or any weather for us in the Caribbean. This is expected to move into an area of not really conducive conditions, more cold waters, and this system will likely go out in the next few days. So let's look at our satellite imagery again. To the east, keep our eyes to the east. Disorganized showers associated with that system or that tropical wave for now. Also in the Eastern Caribbean, there is another wave just slightly east of the area. Some moisture is moving ahead of that wave and coming towards the north. We see a break in that Saharan dust. So we're going to see a little bit pop-up of showers coming across the area. I had a little bit of showers before I left the airport today, and then again some more stable conditions. And we see a lot of dust associated in the area. So we have moderate levels of Saharan dust still in the area impacting us in the Eastern Caribbean. Looking again at that area of disturbed weather, see this is disorganized. There's no center associated with the system. That's why we're looking at this system over the next 48 hours. We have a moderate chance of a center forming, and over the next 7 days, as it moves further, we expect further development as it comes closer towards the Eastern Caribbean. Looking back at our summary for today, we had sunny and hazy skies, not much in the way of showers. Despite a tropical wave going through the area, we see mostly dry conditions dampening those showers' activity. So the high temperature was around 34 degrees Celsius. Winds out east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, just a moderate chance of showers as we see that break and those clouds coming through. So we expect a moderate, again, chance of showers. Those showers will be quick and move through with that moderate wind, 12 to 15 miles per hour out of the east, and low temperature, 26 degrees Celsius. For tomorrow, similar conditions to today. We're going to see hazy skies, but a low chance of showers. Any showers that we're expecting more likely will be in the morning, early parts of the morning. Max temperature, 34 degrees Celsius. Winds again out of the east. Sunrise at 5:49 a.m. Sunset 6:34 p.m. For seas, we see the seas at 4 to 6 feet. Winds picking up a little bit east at 14 to 19 miles per hour. No cautions or advisories out at this time. However, we do see those seas are likely to increase going towards Saturday. We also see that the weather conditions are going to increase going towards Saturday also, where we see Saturday going into late Sunday, we have a tropical wave, actually moisture associated with that system. It's going to reach the area hopefully by Saturday, and we're going to get a little bit of shower activity hopefully out of that. We also do see the winds will also increase as we move towards Saturday. With that, we've come to the end of our presentation. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Patrice.
All right, so Patrice, we're continuing to monitor what's happening in the Eastern Atlantic.
Yes, at least for the next 48 hours, there's a moderate chance, and we're really watching that system to look for that center developing. So for now, it's disorganized, and it's a tropical wave, and we're looking for it to move into conducive conditions, possibly developing further after those 48 hours into 7 days. So we're really keeping our eyes on the east for now.
Okay, we'll monitor very, very closely. Our eyes are peeled, as they say on this one. And of course, it's a stark reminder that we continue to be in the hurricane season.
Yes.
It might have been a little bit quiet before now, but it's a reminder that we're getting close to the peak, because the peak is late August into September, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, and for later tonight, we're expecting a few passing showers?
Possibly? A few passing showers. As I said, there's a wave to the east of the area. However, those moderate winds are pushing a bit of moisture with that break in the Saharan dust overnight. So we do see a little bit of showers peeking through, but just a moderate chance.
All right, we continue to monitor with you and your colleagues in the Met Office. As ever, Patrice, thank you so much. Patrice Edwards and her colleagues always ensure that we are your weather headquarters. When the weather is the news, trust us for regular and timely updates. We'll monitor very closely for you. Up next, we'll take you to a look at news overseas. One of the stories that we're tracking closely comes to us from Trinidad and Tobago, because the government there is not ruling out potential U.S. personnel participation in Army police posts to reclaim the country's public spaces. We'll have the very latest. We'll hear from the former police commissioner, Gary Griffith, in Trinidad and Tobago next.
And internationally, the search is ongoing for thousands missing following Monday's earthquake in Colombia. All of that and more coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
On your mark. For the mornings you were up before the sun. Get set for the nights you stayed longer than everyone else, and for the moments you pushed yourself beyond what you thought was possible. ECAP is here with you to help you cross the finish line. Introducing the ECAP Game Changers Scholarship, a one-time grant of 25,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars for one exceptional student athlete in track and field, football, or swimming who has received a partial scholarship to study abroad. If you are a resident of Antigua and Barbuda, aged 14 to 21, and entering your first year of study, this is your moment. Get recommended by your coach, write your 500-word essay, and apply today. Visit ecabank.com or email gamechangers@ecabank.com for more information. Applications close August 21st, 2026. The Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank. Our future, our bank.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at regional developments now, because security concerns are mounting in Trinidad and Tobago over possible U.S. involvement in the 30 Army police posts being completed across that country. Well, CNC3 shares comments from former police commissioner Gary Griffith.
There is absolutely no legal authority. There's no statutory police powers or arrest that can be given to international military to be involved in policing. And you don't even know that as a Homeland Security Minister. The U.S. cannot come into Trinidad and Tobago to be involved in law enforcement.
Griffith says he supports the use of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force in joint operations, but does not believe soldiers need additional powers of arrest.
So the police officers will be the ones to arrest, but the police actually have the capability. So say, for example, there's some volatile situation. Suppose there's a clear and present danger and there's involved in a major firefight. The soldiers are very well trained to understand how to deal with counter-revolutionary warfare.
Well, more legal matters, because the CCJ is launching a staunch defense of its judicial integrity. Well, last evening we told you that the president of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Justice Winston Anderson, had been accused by a majority of his fellow judges of governing the regional court in an authoritarian and dictatorial manner. Well, News Source Guyana has the very latest.
The Caribbean Court of Justice is reaffirming that the judges of the court remain committed to the tenets of judicial conduct enshrined in the United Nations Bangalore Principles of Judicial Conduct: independence, impartiality, integrity, propriety, equality, competence, and diligence. The court in a statement said it is mindful that questions and allegations presented without the benefit of context, background, or an appreciation of the nature of judicial deliberations, collegial discussions, and institutional governance may lend themselves to misunderstandings or mischaracterization. Maintaining public confidence in the court is fundamental, the court said, to upholding the rule of law and preserving trust in the administration of justice.
Well, let's head now to St. Lucia, where Prime Minister Philip J. Pear and opposition leader Alan Chastanet are engaging in a war of words over the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. DBS News St. Lucia has this story.
Prime Minister Philip Pear opened his briefing by declaring he was back from what he jokingly called a 5-year vacation, but quickly turned serious. He accused opposition leader Alan Chastanet of spreading what he described as a falsity of the highest order. by writing to foreign embassies, the Caribbean Development Bank, and international organizations claiming no SSDF audits have been conducted since the SLP took office. Pierre laid out the timeline in detail. He noted that audits for 2017 and 2018, years when the UWP was in power, were actually completed in March of 2023 under the current administration. He then turned the tables on Chasney, who served as Minister of Finance from 2016 to 2021.
So the only reason why statements have not been revealed is because the United August Party, under the present leader of the opposition, failed to present audited statements for these years.
And contact tracing has begun in St. Vincent and the Grenadines after health authorities discovered a drug-resistant bacterium at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. 4 patients so far have been found with wounds infected with the bacteria. The bacteria, resistant to powerful antibiotics normally used to treat wounds, can cause infections, especially in people who are very sick or hospitalized. That country's health ministry says the detection of these cases does not mean the general public is at immediate increased risk. Well, when we come back, we take a look at international developments. Stay with us.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Antigua and Barbuda will be at the center of global business this November. For the first time in its history, the country will host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM. A key part of those discussions will be the Commonwealth Business Forum. It will be hosted by the Commonwealth Secretariat in partnership with the government of Antigua and Barbuda and the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, CIWI.
The road to CHOGM will therefore focus on new initiatives for high-impact investments, building deeper trade and investment partnerships.
A lot of business people will come to our country, and they will share technological developments, they will share investment opportunities.
Welcome back. International news now. Rescue crews and civilians in Colombia painstakingly searched through rubble on Tuesday in the hopes of course, finding survivors following yesterday's devastating 7.4 magnitude earthquake. Of course, a powerful earthquake left thousands missing in dozens of cities and towns. The earthquake has killed over 200 people and left 2,595 more injured. At least 195 more are missing, but civilian-run databases suggest that number could be closer to 4,000, as we hear from Reuters.
Rescue efforts across western Colombia carried on through the night and into Tuesday, as local authorities said the death toll climbed above 200. The 7.4 magnitude earthquake tore through Colombia's coffee-growing heartland early the day before. In Cali, home to about 2.2 million people, at least 85 people were killed. Dozens of buildings were left leaning precariously or destroyed outright, forcing residents into the streets. The World Health Organization said vital medical facilities had been badly damaged, and there were concerns about access to water and sanitation.
Now, public health concerns that we have is really first to ensure continuity of essential health services, and that is a priority.
No, la verdad, el corazón.
Haas said his heart was full of sadness for the poor people.
A Syrian court has sentenced ousted dictator Bashar al-Assad to death in absentia after convicting him of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity during the country's civil war. That story from France 24.
Before pronouncing his verdict, the judge reeled off Bashar al-Assad's crimes. The fugitive defendant, as he called him, was guilty of intentional homicide, deliberate killing, and incitement.
He is also convicted of the felony of torture, torture resulting in death, and multiple acts of deprivation of liberty, constituting crimes against humanity and war crimes. He is sentenced to death.
A sentence more symbolic than anything, as Assad fled to Russia after his regime's fall in December 2024 and received political asylum. The judge handed the same sentence in absentia to 6 Assad-era military and security officials, including Assad's brother, Maher, a former commander of the Syrian military's notorious 4th Armoured Division, accused of killings, torture, extortion and drug trafficking.
Here's a story dominating the headlines over the past 24 hours or so. In July, President Donald Trump hid in a catering truck and reportedly secretly switched planes in a security ruse prompted by a credible Iranian assassination plot. Here's more from Guardian News.
Donald Trump hid in a catering truck and reportedly secretly switched planes in an extraordinary security ruse prompted by an Iranian assassination threat. In July, the US president boarded one of his Air Force One jets as he left Turkey for the UK after a NATO summit. But Washington Post and New York Times reporting has revealed that minutes after Trump disappeared from the sight of TV cameras, he was transferred to an airport catering truck on the other side of the jumbo jet. These vehicles are usually used to load meals onto planes. This time, officials have confirmed that the truck was used to secretly shuttle Trump to a smaller C-32A plane. A US official told the Post that a credible threat to the US president involving Iran had set the deception operation in motion. Trump's actual location was concealed from journalists and some White House staff who had boarded the Air Force One jet and thought they were traveling with the president. The C-32A carrying Donald Trump landed at about 10:20 p.m. in the UK, and the Air Force One he was meant to be traveling on arrived minutes later. Around 11 p.m., footage shows the US president descending its upper left side steps, having likely switched planes secretly and boarded the jumbo jet from a different door. He then spent some time greeting US service members before walking to the new Qatari-donated Air Force One. It's unclear why the previous version of the Air Force One was also used. Trump said on Truth Social that he would fly on it for old time's sake. On the flight back to the US from the UK, the journalists who said they'd been advised to keep their window shades shut during the flight asked the president why, and Donald Trump said this.
Well, yeah, because you're probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force One?
I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go.
Of course, the president had actually been on a different plane. The Guardian reached out to the White House and the US Department of Defense for comment, but was yet to hear back at the time we published this video.
Guardian News sharing us some of the details there, Nicola, on a story that has been dominating the headlines in the US and beyond as well. All right, that's where take us out of a look at news overseas. Up next, the sporting developments as promised. Terry Andrew joins us. Good evening, Terry.
Good evening, Terry.
Good evening, guys. Tyra Fenton and Ketia Ambus return to the island today for the World Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon. The Ministry of Sports officials and the Athletics Association's boss greeted them when they arrived home today. That story here and more when we come back right here on the ABS Evening Sports.
Welcome to Hadid Dental Clinic, where your oral health and beautiful smile are our top priority. We utilize state-of-the-art technology, like advanced panoramic X-rays, for precise diagnostics. Our experienced team is dedicated to providing comprehensive dental care, from routine checkups and restorative procedures to enhancing your smile with professional teeth whitening. At Hadid Dental, we embrace innovation, like advanced intraoral scanning for accurate digital impressions, ensuring the highest quality and efficiency in your treatment. Whether it's complex procedures or detailed imaging, our commitment is to your lasting oral health. Hadid Dental Clinic. Your smile, our priority. Visit us today.
The Ministry of Sports and the Antigua and Barbuda Athletics Association have registered their appreciation for the young athletes who represented the country at the World Under-20 Championships. Though the athletes did not get on the medal podium, the efforts of the trio did not go unnoticed. Here's more in this report. Tyra Fenton and Ketia Ambrose returned home, accompanied by Coach Teddy Daly and team leader Joan Small. They were greeted by Director of Sports Heather Samuel Daly and President of the Athletics Association Shanor Joseph, who both commended the athletes' performances on the track in Eugene, Oregon.
To say congratulations to the entire team of Antigua and Barbuda that participated in the World Junior Championships. We know the difficulties that were experienced during the first part of the travel, but nonetheless, I felt that the performances spoke for themselves, as well as we have a finalist in young Tyra Fenton. We all seen her at inter-schools and national championships at Carifta, but on the world stage, she was even better. Although she didn't get a medal, we are still very proud of her and would like to say congratulations on behalf of the Ministry of Sports and the Minister, Dwayne George.
On behalf of the Antigua and Barbuda Athletic Association, I would like to say congratulations to Team Antigua. Kesia Daly, who is absent at the moment, went back to school. Ketia Ambrose and Tyra Fenton. I must say you all have made Antigua proud, and not only that you have made us proud, but history was also created with Miss Tyra Fenton advancing to the finals. And I must say this is something special. This is phenomenal, and I do wish all of the athletes the best.
Coach Daly says the weather played a major role in disrupting the athletes.
We experienced some adverse situations on our way to World Juniors. The weather was bad in Florida. We had to divert, and you know, it was a whole nightmare. By the time we got to the games, we would have missed like 2 nights of sleep. And that is not easy for athletes to recover, not having 2 nights of sleep and then have to compete a few days after. That would have been extremely difficult for them. But yet still, they know that they were out there representing Antigua and Barbuda, and they stood up to the challenge, and you would have seen the results.
Both Ambrose and Fenton tell ABS Sports it was a learning opportunity which they are grateful to have experienced.
It was very fun. I did have a rough first few days, but overall I felt like I had a really good experience. I got to compete against a lot of new people. I got to meet a lot of new people, and I made it to the semi-final. It was my first time there, so I was grateful enough to make it to the semi-final. And I can only be grateful that I'm still healthy and I'm still have another more to come.
I was very grateful and very emotional coming out the semi-finals, seeing that I actually made it into the finals. So it was just like a mind-blowing experience for me, crossing that line, coming in third. I'm like, yes, I made it. Like I knew that I could do it, but it was just like a different feeling actually seeing yourself actually doing it and coming out there and doing so well. Places are very close, so as I'm on the outside and I see 1, 2, 3, you never know what's on the inside. So I was like, let's go. I hope nobody's on the inside to dip me out. I'm like, okay. In the finals, I was just grateful and pleased. I was just there to just run, and whatever happens, happens. Because I already made it so far. I'm in the top 9 fastest. Like, I'm here.
Terry Andrew, ABS Sports. Meanwhile, head coach of Roots Track Club, Oswald Baptiste, and coach Shante Forrest Hughes are extremely proud of Fenton's exploits at the Under-20 Championships.
What I saw, really impressive. She made the whole of Antigua and Barbuda proud. And a lot of other islands coaches who keep calling me, asking me questions of her performance. I know that she was there I know that she would have reached the final, and from she reached the final, I'm very happy about that. I spoke to her before she get into that race. I let her know she will have to keep herself in a certain range because it's her first time going into a competition like that. So she cannot go there and then blow up herself and then cause problems. So she just have to take it easy, go there, run and gain the experience because there's more time ahead of her.
As far as our family tree, very close-knit. The parents and the coaches, we work together to make sure that Tyra is basically well covered, especially her mental capacity, because if you, as an athlete, if your mental capacity is not on top tier when you're going to these big meets and it's her first time, it really plays a big part, either a disadvantage or advantage. So definitely as the coaches, Mr. Baptiste and myself, and her parents, even some of the other parents that are in our club, we work together to make sure that not just Tyra alone, but all our athletes, once they're going to compete, their mental and everything around them is top 10.
In another story, bikini fitness champion Tiffany Gordon sat down with ABS Sports earlier today to talk about her successful showing at the bodybuilding championships, even as she aims to go further in the sport. Here's more in this report. Bikini fitness overall champion Tiffany Gordon has been talking about her dominance on stage at the 59th annual bodybuilding championships over the weekend. Gordon claimed the Masters bikini title, the bikini open class, and the overall crown. But while delivering her best package on stage, she tells ABS Sports the battle is most often within herself.
The nerves will definitely kick in once I start overthinking, because I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to or what's happening. Like my body will just go in shock and it's like, what am I doing? I use bodybuilding as a form of exposure therapy. So it takes me out of that comfort zone. So when I say I do hit the stage and the nerves hit in, they hit hard. Like, person won't see it, but it's like, what am I doing? Why did I put myself here? But I mean, like, after I come off the stage, I'm like, I'm glad I did it. I, at least accomplished like that time frame that I'm there. I can say, I pushed myself outside of the norm of what I'm used to doing. Competing since 2022, Gordon is aiming higher in the sport. After conquering the national stage, her aim will be that elusive pro card. I tried 2 CACs, which was in Guyana and in St. Lucia, and I also tried at Roger Boys earlier this year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but the pro card is the ultimate goal, but I feel the development that happens within trying to attain it is also a better outcome. Gordon will be a part of Team Antigua and Barbuda that will compete at the upcoming CAC Championships in Guatemala. Certain things that I do need to work on, which is stage presentation, is always going to be something that I need to work on, because once I get on the stage, I do get nervous. I need to work on pulling my legs more and just being able to be a little bit more comfortable and fluent within my movement. Terry Andrew, ABS Sports. In cricket, the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League returns to Sabina Park in Jamaica tonight. For the first time since 2019, the biggest party in sports, the CPL, will be played in Jamaica. The newest entrants, the Jamaica Kingsmen, will host Barbados Royal, and the start of that match has been delayed. And finally, a century and a hat-trick recorded in the CWI Rising Stars on the 19 competition. Over at Coolidge Cricket Grounds today, the Leeward Islands suffered a 90-run defeat against Barbados. Barbados batting first were propelled by a record-breaking total of 206 for 2 from their allotted 20 overs, led by a brilliant unbeaten 135 from Ebony Brathwaite, the highest score in the tournament's history. The 17-year-old's knock came from just 76 balls and included 17 fours and 7 sixes. In reply, the Leewards could only get to 116 for 3 from their 20 overs. And Trinidad and Tobago remained unbeaten with a third consecutive victory, defeating the Windward Islands by 10 wickets at the Liberty Sports Club. Trinidad and Tobago's captain, Samara Ramnath, produced a brilliant bowling performance, claiming a hat-trick on her way to figures of 4 for 10 as the Windward Islands were dismissed for just 52. Trinidad and Tobago made light work of the run chase, reaching 53 without loss. And Jamaica made it to 2 wins in a row following their 21-run win over Guyana in the day's final encounter at the Coolidge Cricket Grounds. That's the sport. Nicola, Garfield.
Thank you so much, Terry.
All right, Terry, really appreciate it. That's it for the news. Really appreciate your company. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Garfield Burford. Pleasant evening, pleasant viewing. Bye-bye.
I'm Nicola Barito. Have a great night.
I'm Terry Andrew. Thanks for watching.